It's time for the ultimate September 2025 night sky tour. Let's go. This is our view of the night sky from anywhere on Earth. It's going to change over the course of the month. To see that change, we're going to have to do some time lapses. But before we get there, let me introduce myself. I'm here with the weather forecast, and more importantly, the star maps for your area. We've got a lot to cover tonight. Let's jump right into it. Starting off, we are in the opposition buildup for Saturn. We will reach opposition on the 27th. This is when the Sun, the Earth, and Saturn are lined up with the Earth in between the other two. That means Saturn will be at its closest point to Earth for the year, and it will be shining at its brightest. And if you have a backyard telescope, this is going to be one of the best times to observe Saturn. Saturn has a history of deep dives in our videos. This is because it's one of my favorite planets. I saw it for the first time when I was 8 years old. That was back in 2004, when I was living overseas in the UK. If you want to hear that story, check out the end of our March 2025 video. But for now, all you need to know is that when I tell you there's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity coming, I'm not exaggerating. On September, we'll be doing a special Saturn-focused live stream starting at 7 p.m. Eastern. You can submit questions now through the link in the description. There will be an amateur astronomer on the live stream who's done a ton of research on Saturn, and he's be taking your questions and answering them live. So make sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss this. Next up, I want to talk about the eclipse that happened on the 23rd. The moon was slightly smaller than the sun, so it did not completely block it out. This is what we call a partial solar eclipse. But still, people saw it as a blood moon. Why? Because of the way light interacts with our atmosphere. The blue light gets scattered away, leaving mostly red and orange to reach our eyes, so the moon took on a bloody appearance. Here are some pictures taken by viewers. Thank you guys so much for sending these in. It really helps show how impressive these events are. Also, shout out to a viewer. He was able to capture a picture of the partial phase in all of its glory. Now you can see why we call these solar eclipses, right? But remember, you should never look directly at the sun without proper eye protection. Regular sunglasses won't cut it. Instead, you can pick up some cardboard and some aluminum tape and follow my instructions in the video linked below. Next up, let's do a fly around starting in the northeast. This blue orb is the planet Jupiter. It's currently in its own retrograde motion. Retrograde motion is when planets appear to move backwards in the sky. Usually this is caused by the Earth overtaking them in its orbit. In the case of Jupiter, though, its orbit is so far out that this isn't the cause. Instead, it's because Jupiter's orbit is misaligned with the ecliptic by about 3 degrees. So as it makes its trek around the sun, it appears to cross paths with us, making it seem like it's moving backwards. The good news is that on September, Jupiter will reach its oppositions. So despite the retrograde motion, it will shine brighter than it has all year. Next up, we have the Pleiades, or the Seven Sisters, also known as the Subaru. These 7 stars are so bright and easy to spot that they are visible in even the darkest areas of twilight. To find them, just look up to the northeast about 30 minutes after sunset, and there they are. And finally, the most prominent feature in the evening sky is the Milky Way. There are so many stars packed together that it almost looks like a river of stars flowing down the sky. Now let's do a fly around starting in the southwest. First, we'll pass the bright star Capella. It's the brightest star in the constellation Auriga. Then we'll come across Procyon. This is the 8th brightest star in the night sky. It is often confused with Proxima Centauri, which is actually the closest star to our sun. The reason for the confusion is that both stars have the name Procyon. Well, turns out the star Procyon is also called Alpha Canis Majoris. So to distinguish the two, astronomers refer to Procyon as Procyon A and Proxima Centauri as Proxima Centauri B. Makes sense, right? I think I got that straight. Anyway, continuing our tour, we'll then fly past Venus. It's still shining brightly in the western skies. Next, we'll pass the moon. It will be waning, which means it will look like a thinner crescent as the month progresses. And finally, we'll end our tour with a trip through the Milky Way core. As we approach the center of the galaxy, the band of the Milky Way gets thicker and brighter. The closer we get to the center, the more stars there are. On September, we will have a conjunction between the Moon and Mars. This is the 3rd time this year these two have gotten together. They were last seen together in July. For For those of you who missed it, this is what it looked like. They'll be very close together in the morning sky. If you want to capture them both in the same frame with a camera or a telescope, it's going to be tough. And that's because Mars is currently in its smallest and dimmest state. This is its second apparition since its opposition in 2024. During its first apparition earlier this year, it reached a peak brightness of minus 0.6 magnitudes. Right now, however, it only shines at plus 0.6 magnitudes. It will continue to dim until next summer, when it reaches its greatest eastern elongation and begins its long journey back towards opposition. As the month progresses, the moon will enter its new phase. It will appear as a thin crescent in the morning sky. The best time to see the thin crescent is about 15 minutes after sunrise. It will look like this. If you have the chance, you should definitely go out and take a look. In the southern hemisphere, it's a great time to be alive. The Magellanic Clouds are high in the sky all night. And if you're willing to stay up late, you might even catch a glimpse of the small Magellanic Clouds stellar nursery, NGC 3324. And for those of you who love comets, Comet C 2023, a 3-Suchinchen Atlas, is still in the southern skies. It's currently shining at about magnitude 9. It will become visible to the naked eye around September 1st, and it will be visible in the morning sky to the north of Venus. The comet will reach its closest approach to the Sun on November 7th, but it will not pass between the Earth and the Sun. Instead, it will swing by the inner solar system, passing the orbit of Mars. Comets are notoriously unpredictable, so its brightness could increase or decrease dramatically depending on how it interacts with dust along its path. And finally, there's something exciting happening with Pegasus. As the month progresses, you'll start to notice that it's getting higher in the sky each night. That's because on October, Pegasus will officially become a circumpolar constellation. A circumpolar constellation is one that never sets below the horizon. It's always visible from a fixed location on Earth. Take the North Star, for example. It doesn't set below the horizon because it's located at the North Celestial Pole. Believe it or not, Pegasus is almost exactly the same distance from the North Celestial Pole. That means it will behave almost exactly like Polaris does. There is one small difference, though. Polaris is technically a little bit closer to the pole, so it will still be visible throughout the night. Pegasus, on the other hand, will rise in the northeast and set in the northwest. Now that we've covered all the important points, I'd like to end the tour with a quick recap. Let's start in the east. As darkness falls, look to the southeast to see the bright star Capella. It will be joined by Procyon and Venus as the sky darkens. And finally, the Milky Way will start to dominate the eastern sky as the night goes on. The Pleiades will be high overhead by midnight, and Mars will be shining brightly in the southern skies. And as the morning progresses, the glow of sunrise will start to illuminate the eastern sky. Now let's head to the southwest and do another fly around. As the sky darkens, look to the west to see Venus shining brightly. It will be joined by the moon and Mars as darkness falls. And then the Milky Way core will start to dominate the western sky as the night progresses. By midnight, the Milky Way will be overhead, and the glow of sunrise will start to illuminate the eastern sky as the night goes on. And finally, let's head to the south. As the sky darkens, look to the south to see the bright star Fomalhaut. It will be joined by the Milky Way core as darkness falls. And then the Magellanic Clouds will start to dominate the southern sky as the night progresses. Hey, thanks for joining me on tonight's tour. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and print out this month's map by clicking the link in the description. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss our October video. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.